It's not him, is it?
How many times can we get one of those in tonight?
It wasn't me, man.
Hey, blasphemers. Welcome to Simple Blasphemy, where we have the best times with the worst topics.
We're three friends that discuss everything and nothing, from wacky headlines to games and trivia. All subjects bizarre and risque are on the table.
Our weekly guests range from friends, musicians, and artists to professionals in a variety of industries.
We go live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Want to support the show? Join our Patreon. You can find it and more at www.simpleblasphemy.com.
So grab a drink and join in!
It's too late now. This is Simple Blasphemy.
Oh, did I forget to press that button? Hello.
Hey,
Welcome
what's going on,
to
everybody?
the Simple Blasphemy podcast, all you blasphemers out there. My name is Zach Ward, and I have here with me always Andy.
Oh,
No microphone.
Ooh, ouch. Ouch.
Oh, that's rookie.
Oh, he did it
move.
on purpose. He did it on purpose.
No, wait a minute.
No.
No.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, I totally did it on purpose. No, it was on accident. I'm sorry. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
So I've already used up all my time.
All right.
And Mr. Zach the Green Machine.
Hey, I'm fucking
Oh.
here. That's all I gotta fucking say, man. Just got done working on a B-24 bomber.
Oh,
Really?
Plastic one.
Oh, okay. I was in the store the other day and I saw they had this model kit blowout, and there was a giant. It looked like the Dragula hot rod, but the box
remember
was
that.
the box was huge. It was like 36 inches by 24 inches huge. So
And before we introduce our special guest, all the info on the show, including episodes and guests and everything else, we find at simpleblasphemy.com. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and stay tuned for some of the news that you need to know. This week's guest is none other than our friend Fish Fisher. How are you doing today, Fish?
doing real good tonight. How y'all doing?
Very well. Very
Come
well.
see, come saw.
We are going to do a little
I
bit
like
of an interview style here with Fish tonight. And just to get to know him better, we're going to spit 4 questions fast and easy. So here we go. Why not? Number
Oh.
1, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
If I could have a superpower,
Yes.
I
you're
would like to-
suggesting that he doesn't already have a superpower.
Or he will.
I'd like to be likable.
Oh,
Like
I've
a
always
medium.
wondered what it's like. It'd be cool,
my
Wouldn't
wife
that-
always just says, stop talking.
Yeah, right.
People really like you.
I'm not very good.
Well, I mean, that's actually a very kind thing. Most people say invisible or flying or
Well, I'd like to be
Giant
invisible and
penis.
flying too, but I'd like to be likable about my invisibility and flying.
okay, fair enough.
I want them all.
Do you think that people would be compelled to give you random hugs? Don't you think it would impede on your progress to be able to fly or be invisible because people would always be holding you because you're so likable?
I'm invisible and I can fly. They can't stop me from hugging them anyway. They don't
Until
know
you
what hit me.
Ooh.
An invisible flying person or a person hanging
Exactly.
upside down,
Honey,
screaming.
honey, there's a breeze in the shower. I don't know where it's coming from.
Right?
It's really likable. I have the weirdest boner right now.
This is the most likable invisibility ever. Wow.
Can- Tom Cruise has
This
that
whole-
capability, right? Right
This
now?
whole time, I didn't know where my prostate was.
Xenu bestowed that power to him.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Question number 2.
I'm scared already.
What age do you consider old?
What age do I consider old? 35.
I agree.
All right.
I've been mad about it for 12 years now.
I didn't say old enough. I said no.
Yikes.
All right. Question number 3. If you had a celebrity hall pass, who would it be?
What is that?
So a celebrity hall pass is an agreement that you have with your significant other that if you were in the presence of, say, for me, let's just say Drew Barrymore, and it was consensual, I would have a hall pass kind of a thing to make sweet love to, sweet, like intimate fucking.
Man, I gotta have a list.
That hit a wall.
Is there a list somewhere?
Look, I had it made into a poster.
Wait a second. It says to do.
It's a to-do list.
In other words, I mean, do you have a crush, a celebrity crush, or somebody that you've always,
kind of here and there.
I mean, it could be a guy too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy?
Ryan Reynolds.
Orson
According
Welles.
to my wife, it'd be that Jason Momoa dude.
The mimosa.
Jason
He doesn't look
Momoa.
very soft though. Yeah. Man, who's that girl from Parks and Rec? And she's all like goth attitude.
She's got that awkward
Yeah.
humor. Yeah, I know who you're talking
Yes.
about.
Andy, I can't believe you don't know the name.
You know what? I've only watched
The brunette,
young
young brunette
episode.
girl that has a real awkward sense of humor.
Aubrey
Yeah,
Plaza.
her interviews are the
That's
best.
what it is.
And she's like, her awkwardness makes her hotter somehow. Or
Yep.
something.
Yeah, I agree.
What's her name?
Last
Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
Something like yep.
Okay, that's my hall pass right there.
all right, fine. Last question. What is the worst job you've ever had?
Ooh, the worst job I ever had.
Mhm.
Can we get a
Boy.
best job after this too?
Yeah. Worst job I ever had. I worked for Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Okay.
And yet that sounds great, don't it?
Well, it
does,
sounds like
man.
you're doing something altruistic.
You're going to heaven.
Yeah,
God damn it.
yeah.
God
On
damn
Eagle's
it.
wings.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
What was that?
was there
I raised you.
Was there anything that you would like to comment on why it was so bad, or would you prefer to plead the fifth?
I would plead the fifth.
All right,
Okay.
fair enough.
Okay. What's the best?
Best job I ever had?
Mm-hmm.
Not counting like singing music and all that stuff. I actually quit playing music for like 10 years. And believe it or not, I was a gang and occult expert for a private organization.
I remember
explain-
that.
Yeah, that's
I
that would
didn't know
explain
you
a lot
at
of
that
my.
time.
That's
Yep.
sounds awesome.
Like Dan Aykroyd or something?
Uh,
that the-
Aykroyd or
no,
more Peter Venkman or
Yeah.
more Bill Murray.
it was pretty weird. It was but no, it was cool. It was an honor to be a part of the community and see the things I seen. That's still where a lot of the stories come from that I'm writing to this day.
I was
That's
going to
awesome.
ask, like, so you've done stuff with the, and we'll get into it a little bit more, but you've done stuff like about the Mothman and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Mothman's my buddy.
did that have anything to do with what you're talking about?
No, not at all. It was like a totally different life. It was I just fell into it and somehow became a gang expert and did that for 10 years and then went back to songwriting after that.
I don't blame him. So
That's
before
the
Mothman
way-
had nothing to do with it.
No, I
Damn
mean,
it.
I was like suit and tie and
Oh my God.
gave
So
seminars and
Oh.
and yeah, traveled the country doing it. Yeah.
All right. So before we dive into all things fish, we have a little segment here. We like to give a shout out. We have statistics for our audio only podcasts, and we like to give a shout out to the top 5 countries. India coming in once again.
Lord.
70s. And now, mind you, folks, we're almost to 13,000 downloads, and India is creeping at 76.24% of the last 30 days.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Number 2, United States. 3, Germany. I think the first time we got Russia on the scoreboard and then Canada. So thank you guys all for tuning in across the globe, especially India. You guys are killing it.
Yeah, right.
Go India.
Go India.
At this time,
That's my motto.
Tanner Wirtz would like to give a shout out.
Uh-oh.
Hey guys, Tanner Wirtz here. I want to give a big shout out to PNC Bank because I want my money to be safe at Penis National Club Bank. Because I'm pretty sure that's what that stands for.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
What am I involved in here? What's going on?
How much money is direct correlation to how big your penis is?
Interesting. All right, Andy.
I'm just saying you'd be watching like the USA Network a long time ago, like 1980s, and some weird cartoon would come on at like 3 o'clock in the morning that you didn't completely understand. That's what you got yourself into. There's a 3 o'clock in the morning 15-minute cartoon that you will never go away and you'll never see again. You don't know if it's real or not.
So,
fever dream.
Fish, why don't you give us a trip down memory lane, how you became involved in music and songwriting? How'd this start for you?
Wow. I'm trying to think of a summary of it. I started out at 14 years old playing metal guitar, and I was a good guitar player back then. I'm not now, and I'm unapologetic about it. But never wanted to sing, but I took vocal lessons to sing backups just because I always liked harmonies and stuff. And I did that stuff till I was like 21, joined a bunch of bands, did all that. And that's, I fell down a hole. I wasn't supposed to. Yeah, I fell down a hole down in Atlanta and broke my back and wasn't supposed to ever walk again.
Oh, you mean literally?
Oh, I thought it was a proverbial hole.
No, a proverbial hole would be so much cooler, but no, I fell down.
I'm still falling down that hole.
The proverbial hole.
Oh, wait, no, I'm not.
A longer hole, let me tell you. But no, then that ultimately in some way led to, I moved back to Toledo and over the years fell into that whole gang thing I was talking about. And then that went on until I was in my young 30s, and I never even played a guitar or owned one or anything during that time. And something hit me that just said it's time to start writing songs and playing music again. And that something that hit me was I had to pay some bills, and I didn't have no money. And I seen somebody play an acoustic guitar, and I told my wife now, she was my girlfriend at the time, we were at some restaurant in Toledo off of Reynolds Road. And I was like, I could do that if I knew it paid. And she's like, do what? And I was like, I actually play guitar. She had no idea. And could sing a little bit and could at least sing that much, But I did it begrudgingly. So I went to TMIE and rented a guitar because I thought I was just going to do it to pay the bills for a few months. I never really fallen back into it. So $25 a month, I rented a guitar, just what I thought was a temporary fix to pay bills. And then next thing you know, I started a duo and was playing all over downtown and stuff and playing solo on acoustic and was mostly doing cover songs. That was back in what we call Paint Black Walrus was my brilliant band name.
I remember. Yeah,
remember Paint Black Walrus?
Yeah. I never got to see anything, but I remember the name because it really stuck with me.
Well, they asked me when I said I had a duo, I forget what the first place was. They were like, what's it called? And I couldn't think of nothing. And I had been listening to the Beatles and Rolling Stones and just said Paint Black Walrus. And the next thing you know, that was on like flyers and stuff. And I had to stick with it. And I thought I was doing it temporary. It took me 2 years to realize that 2 years had gone by and I'm still playing. And so then I started writing again. And that was probably 2004. That's probably right around when me and Andy met. Was that time. And then I figured, well, if I'm going to play, I'm going to start a band. And I started Society's Ugly Son and grabbed 4 dudes that play better than me. And
some of the best
kind of went down that path,
Yeah, really good friend band. Like, it's good to find a band to play with, like Society's Ugly Son, that we actually really enjoyed your music. I mean, we jumped on stage with each other, Yeah, we'd vocal stuff with each other, and yeah, it's been a really good relationship. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, from like moment one with Highbinder, we just knew we all loved each other and was fans of each other's music, and never looked back. Like it was always just exciting to see each other, and it still is. Yeah,
we still have one of the biggest records of any show that we've ever put on ourselves was with you guys. I remember we filled up the top floor of the Bijou, and it was just
the
like,
Bijou, yeah.
I remember walking back upstairs after being out, like loading equipment out, and just going, "Holy crap! Holy
Right.
crap! There's a shitload of people here. This is awesome. We should have really thought about this and got merchandise."
All right, so you
We've been rich ever since. Yeah. That's why we're millionaires now.
Oh yes, look at my palatial estate behind me.
you have the title as the godfather of Ghettobilly. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, that was another of my just making stuff up as I went kind of thing, and it kind of stuck. I just think it's funny because other than Society's Ugly Son, when I started touring the country again and stuff, people perceive me as kind of country or folk music because that's what happens if I play along. And somehow that started making people believe that I grew up out in the country or something, that I'm a country boy. And I totally grew up in South Toledo at South and Broadway, and inner city kid, and I'm playing down in Nashville, and they're wanting me to sing about trucks and stuff. And I was just like, I grew up in the ghetto, for a country singer. I think they think that's weird, but that's where a lot of the attitude and song lyrics kind of come from for my own stuff, not when I'm writing for other people. But so I started just saying I was the godfather of Ghettobilly. I didn't even know what it meant. And next thing you know, that helps out T-shirts, and so I stuck with it since then, and kind of like the term, Yeah,
okay. And you go down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee pretty often, right? You play. I know that I've seen you down there at
Nashville.
The Hogs Upstairs, I think is what it's called, Hogs Tavern.
Yep, Hogs.
And I think I wore my pajamas. I was hanging out with the family. I was like, "Listen, I gotta go see my dude. He's playing up the street. I gotta walk up there and at least say hi really quick." And I walked up in my pajamas and stuff, and I had a beer, and I was like, "Hi, Fisher, how you doing, buddy?" Yeah, but you go down there and you do like there's songwriting conferences, and you take part in these big
How'd you get involved in that?
Yeah, actually, at this point in life, probably 7 or 8 years now, I'm lucky enough to be considered a local down in Gatlinburg. I actually, even though my kids are up here in Toledo, my wife's up here in Toledo, all that stuff, so like I live near Toledo, but I also live in Gatlinburg, and I don't know how it happened. I just started playing down there and fell in with the right folks, and I'm the house singer at Sugarland's Distillery and play every single place up and down the Parkway. In a normal year, we have it down to a routine. I wouldn't call this a normal year, but any other time, pretty much the first week or two of every month, I live in Gatlinburg, and then I come back here, and then a couple weeks later, go back down there and just build little tours around it on the way down and stuff.
How did that start? How did that start going to Nashville and Gatlinburg and things like that?
Just blessed luck, I guess. With Gatlinburg in particular, I fell in with the Smoky Mountain Songwriter Festival probably 7 years ago, something like that, and met a lot of great co-writers that way, and just kind of got to know the locals and stuff, and so that became part of that routine. I pick up more work down there. I don't know if it's my sound or what, but I make sense to them down there, I guess, and I'm good with tourists. And then within that routine, one of my co-writers in Nashville, I was going to Nashville a lot, staying in hotels, like people do, and it got to the point, it got so expensive. I told one of my co-writers that I probably wasn't gonna so much, and they were kind enough. Her and her family built me a little tiny house in Nashville in the backyard. And so then I just ended up with a place in all 3 cities. So like, to me, a normal monthly routine is like a triangle. Like I'm here in Toledo, and then I go down to Gatlinburg, and then I go over to Nashville, and then I come back and play some cities along the way, Charleston, Lexington, stuff like that. And then I get to see all my co-writers, and we're always working on different projects and stuff. And I try to pick up new co-writers. And somewhere along the lines, I'm not real sure how it happened, but that fell into teaching a lot of workshops and hosting songwriter events and stuff like that.
Which is a Nashville thing. Is that where you picked it up at?
Yeah, I picked a lot of that up in Nashville because a lot of my co-writers live in Nashville. But I love Nashville for the work and the co-writing, but it's a little overwhelming to me sometimes. I like to be the wildest thing in town, and you can't do that in Nashville.
No, not that many bachelorette parties.
So I mean, I got my, things I love about Nashville. Definitely my co-writers is just the most exciting part. But also I like, songwriter rounds are very common in Nashville, and I think that's one of the coolest setups you could have. I wish it was a tradition everywhere. But any night of the week I could be playing a songwriter round if I wanted to, and that's how you meet other co-writers and stuff. And at the end of the night, I usually have I call them home base bars that I go, hang out with certain bands and sit in on their sets and stuff. But really, I have a deep. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We like Printer's Alley when we go down there. Just
that's the spot, ain't it? Yeah.
Off the beaten path. So out of you co-wrote roughly in between 150, 200 songs a year in a normal calendar year ish, right?
That would be the norm. Yeah.
So when you're co-writing in Gatlinburg and Nashville, what are some of the successes that maybe most people wouldn't know that you had your hand in? Is there any out there?
I write mostly. It's funny. I guess my favorite success I've had, I believe, exactly 25 cuts over 5 years. None of them are big radio hits. That's if it ever happens, that's great. But I just like when people cut my songs. But wonderful songs from great singers. So I'm very proud of that. And from what some of my mentors have told me, that's a sign of good things to come, But really, I get the most blessing just out of hearing a song that I'm really proud of at the end of it with any co-writer.
Right.
But I've had really cool things. I've had things where I get texted and I'm not even on the clock, and I've had just bizarre stuff that makes my day. I had a singer text me once like, "Hey, one of your songs I'm singing right now at Cannes Film Festival," and things like that. And I'm like,
that's kind of nice.
You've never been to France, So I just enjoy that kind of thing. But a lot of my co-writers, sometimes you just meet somebody once, you write one song, but a lot of them, you actually get really close. You keep writing together over the years, and I'm blessed enough to write with a lot of young artists that I consider my retirement plan. I always tell them no pressure, but this ain't going to be on CMT, and I want them to do it. And so watching their careers develop and grow, is really my favorite part.
I've got a great question for you.
I'll be the judge of that.
All right. So so we have people making music, writing. I mean, if I turn the camera, this is my home recording studio for music. It seems to me like Nashville is like the epicenter for people that are trying to go and do something, maybe more so for maybe not heavy rock or anything like that, but it's an epicenter for songwriting and publishing and things like that. But you don't see a whole lot of co-writing in other places as nearly as much as in Nashville. Do you think that people in Nashville understand that time is limited, and working and building each other up and having an extra ear on a song actually makes a lot of improvement, rather than the guy that just sits in his basement and goes, no, I wrote this song, it's this way? Is that the key?
Is what the key? I think I'm picking up.
I think that, well, with Nashville, it seems that the openness to group writing is way open, whereas you go anywhere else, it's not nearly as common. And it seems like Nashville, being an epicenter for copyright and writing songs and folk and country and things like that, people are much more willing to collaborate rather than other places.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about, I would say, from Nashville and the ripples that it affects all the way over to East Tennessee, and proximity has something to do with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, just the nature of Nashville, it's part of the industry. It's part of the engine that drives the city. And so it is much more likely that if you say to somebody, hey, you want to get together and co-write, that they're going to say, yeah, I understand that language. Whereas if I say that up in Detroit, they're going to look at me like I have three eyes because we don't talk that way up here. Yeah, I mean, but we're doing the same thing. It's actually part of sometimes the workshops I put on. If I'm down like in East Tennessee or Nashville or something, and I point that out, it blows those people's minds. Because I'll tell them, like, really, I'd never in my life heard in, Toledo, Greater Detroit, Cleveland, Rust Belt. Never once have I ever heard, do you want to co-write a song, until
Exactly.
I started thinking that was normal. But I co-wrote a lot of songs. You know what I mean? Like we get together as a band or as two friends, and we call it jamming up here.
Yes, I think that's the thing. It's a communication.
Right.
It's just a different terminology for it. Yeah, you want to get together and jam sometime? That's right. Let's get together and write. And some people take it a lot more seriously than others, where they're like, yeah, man, let's actually sit down and record something. And then some dudes just want to drink a couple of beers and just see what happens, see how you play together.
Yeah, I actually find that if you say,
it is like
you say up here, if you say up here, do you want to sit down and co-write a song on Thursday? There's something that it clams folks up, because it's like you're taking it too serious.
That means that I got to shave everything. I got to wear something nice. I got to get a haircut.
And they're going to think too hard and all that stuff. So up here, you just say, hey, man, you want to get together and jam on Thursday? And I know good and well I'm trying to write a song with you, but I ain't going to say it out loud. You know what I mean? It's the same end result. And that's really all that matters. It's the same thing. You meet a pretty girl and you say, hey, would you like to go on a date on Thursday? And
you like to jam on Thursday?
That is an honor that you're being so upfront. And then others, that's kind of intimidating to make it so formal, and you could use the same technique with that same pretty girl and say, hey, you want to hang out Thursday? And as long as you're meeting each other, you know each other, it's still a date. You just don't have to formalize.
Just like a prenup, how do you protect yourself for being a co-writer, or how do you have that? Is that conversation ever happen? Like, hey, I'm going to co-write with you, but we
got to use protection.
We have to use.
You're not allowed.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You're not allowed to use the capo anywhere above the third fret. No capos.
I've been doing it all wrong. God damn it.
Think of how many things would have been avoided a long time ago had we just talked about the fucking
capo. We just
used
protection.
Jesus.
I don't even understand the question no more.
I know.
He basically says, is there like a way that when you co-write, when you get together with people, where you say, okay, if anything comes of this, I get this amount of money, you get that amount of money. Are we splitting the writing credits on this? Or is it like, I am the mastermind, I am the Jay-Z, and I have hired everybody else to come in here and collaborate with me, not collaborate?
That's a great question. I can only speak on that anecdotally, because there's definitely experts out there that can give business courses on the Nashville train of thought. But as a man that's written with hundreds of people in Nashville or of Nashville thinking, I can tell you we call it writing up when you get to write with a co-writer that's had more hits than you or more cuts than you. The more established of a co-writer that I've written with, the less likely that we ever have that conversation. There is literally a huge amount of trust I have never signed a contract with anybody, even the ones that I consider mentoring me by writing with me. I'm writing up, you know. And it is very much a rare thing to folks from other cities, and I do realize that. If in the rare occasion that I'll do like some top lining or something, and somebody is more from like the LA standard, I do think that there's a lot more of those conversations where it's, hey, I got 7 writers on this. This one wants 5%. This one wants points of this much, and so on and so forth. But I can literally say that it is the rarest of things that we don't just assume that it's split evenly in Nashville. It's kind of like it's easy math. You know what I mean? Like if there's 2 of us, it's 50% each, and if there's 4 of us, 25.
Okay.
I've written with up to 15 people, so that math gets hard. But
the reason why I say that is like when I'm in ASCAP for the songwriting, so there's a spot there that you can start adding people and what percentage. That's why I was asking. You know, does it ever come?
It's a great question, and I'm not saying I'm doing it right. I'm saying I'm
doing it different.
Jesus.
I mean, I've just never had it come up. Like even writers or artists that have more successes or opportunities than me, we've always split everything evenly by however many people are in the room. I mean, I guess if somebody really big came to me and said, hey, you're going to get a smaller percentage, I don't really know what I would do. I guess if I thought there was an opportunity there, I would do it, but it would probably kind of, I think it would hinder the relationship, because when I write with people, typically I write best when I just feel like we're hanging out and being creative together. And I think most people down there that I write with are the same way. And so there's a comfort in just kind of knowing, like, hey, if this song is as good as we think and somebody does something with it, we're writers and not mathematicians for a reason. And so 25% is easier to figure out between 4 people than messing with numbers.
How many words did you have?
So exactly. Word counts. I've heard of that stuff. I mean, I get that question a lot at workshops. Like, I find like at workshops, like if somebody's new to it and they usually have a lot and more intricate questions just about the industry, and they're typically the ones that are wanting to get into that minutia or thinking that that's the proper thing to be worried about, whereas I think anybody else, we're more worried about just being creative and making a great song. And that
you want a good product.
And you want to have fun doing it, and you learn about each other every song you write. And any song that I've co-written that I can tell we're both proud of it and happy with it, whether it goes on to do anything or not, I noticed that immediately you feel like very close, great friends for the rest of your life just by that one song.
That's awesome.
And
going back to the date thing.
Yeah, right. And it is. It's just there's that trust that at least the great majority of Nashvilleian type writers that I've come across, we know to assume that even split. And I like that. I don't think I would function as well in the there's nothing wrong. It's the LA methodology of discussing all the numbers first and stuff.
All business first. All right. Well, hey, let's dive into a few articles here and get your point of view that kind of pertain to some of this stuff. I came across one today.
I lost him.
I think he fell in a hole.
He a proverbial hole. Those proverbial holes are everywhere.
He's out of the hole now. He's back.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No, I didn't touch anything. Both my hands. I swear to God, I was playing with myself when that happened.
That's awesome. At least you're not going to end up with prostate cancer. You're not going to end up with prostate cancer.
Let me finish my thought really quick. If we're still talking about this at all.
Well, I want to add something then.
No, please, you go first.
No, okay. No, I know that back in the day when I was writing songs, I mean, I was writing songs before, by myself, and then I hooked up with this one drummer guy that played some guitar and other instruments. Like I play multiple instruments, and we met in college, and we just decided just to hang out, not even anything to do with music. But then it started creeping towards music, so then we started co-writing music, and looking back on it, it's like the stuff that we did together was so much better than what I could do on my own or what he did on his own. Now we've done stuff on our own since then. Like I can say the stuff that I've done on my own is stale. The stuff that he's done on his own is stale. But like when you mixed us together, there was something special. And then the couple times that we added a third person or a fourth person to the mix, it was just fucking incredible. So when you get those other people's inputs and stuff, it just adds to a much better product that isn't fucking stale. And I don't know if people understand when I talk about a stale song or something with like no soul, but when you add other people, they inspire you in ways like playing wise or approaching something to where you would never think about doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Andy?
That's part of the magic. I mean, there's a reason that out of Nashville, the great majority of hits over the past 20 years are co-written. It's very rare that you hear somebody just say, I wrote this alone out there.
All right, hold on, Fish. Hold on a second. Your audio just went to like
Old time radio.
Really?
Yeah, did it?
It sounds like old time radio. Yes.
Did it Bluetooth connect to something?
To his hair.
Let's see. Am I still weird?
Now you're weirder.
Better, but different.
It's different, huh?
It's a bit of both now.
It's a little better.
It kind of sounds like I should follow like some orders or something like that.
Oh,
Andy, what do you have to say? What were you gonna?
I must have said something that I'm not supposed to say.
Oh yeah, you got flagged. You're greenlit now, dude.
I know.
No, what I was gonna say when we talk about bands getting together and it's like people getting together to write, it's like a date. You want to see if you're going to intermix well. You can get two people that are complete fucking whores that have sex with each other that don't have good sex with one another. Whereas you can get somebody like myself who's not super talented at all and hang out with a bunch of other dudes that are way more talented than me, and it brings out the talent in me. It's like finding a good, it sounds like it's on the spectrum of love. It's a little gay, and I'm fine with that. I want it to be. I hug my guys in my band. I love my guys in my band because I can't find anybody better to jam with.
And that's another thing I wanted to say, Andy, and you just said it. Exactly that point.
All right,
it brings out the talent in
it does.
It does.
Teamwork always helps.
Teamwork.
All right,
And it takes you to places that you would never. I mean, it's only logical. You're going to write.
Well, it's coming back.
Yeah, your audio is.
God damn it, I should have never fucking said anything. I should have never opened my mouth.
Man, I don't know what to do about it. I haven't touched it tonight.
Here's the good news.
I'm sorry,
Fish.
it's all me.
You sound like a fucking transformer, and that's pretty awesome. Could you say
in its own sense?
Could you say Autobots roll out, transform and roll out?
Autobots roll out.
What's up, Dean? All right, so let's jump into this article real quick while we have Roboto over, Mr. Roboto. 14 things you need to know before you date a musician. I am not going to. Yes,
I wonder if that did anything.
It did.
That worked.
Yeah. It says yes.
Oh my God!
Likely.
What did you do?
Don't shake the baby. Don't shake the baby. Why would you
All right.
shake the baby?
Solved.
14 things you need to know before you date a musician. I'm not going to do all 14, but I've got a couple for us to commentary on. Number 4 is they will sing at you. Okay. Well, do you sing at people? I mean, kind of.
I do like a really bad Dean Martin when I'm cooking spaghetti and turn around and shake garlic bread at my wife, but it's not. It's
I just
very
like the idea of calling it singing at people. I want to change my thinking. Like even on stage, I've always thought I was singing for people. I want to start singing at people.
That's the difference.
That sounds so
front
aggressive.
row, Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself.
That's right.
So
I sing Catholic Christian songs.
all right, so here are a few good ones. Number 6, they will have more talent than you.
Number 7, whoever wrote this is a dick.
No, this is so funny. Even if you are generally more talented than them in other areas, their talent will always outshine yours. Get used to it. Musicians are always perfect when they are not. I don't even know what that.
Consider myself fucking.
Somebody's
I'm
jilted.
digging
Somebody
this.
was jilted. Yeah.
All right. Number 7 is my favorite, which I got made fun of earlier today. Number 7, you will be the least interesting of the half of your couple. I'm sorry, we're musicians, we rock it out. You're never gonna be this interesting. I don't care what you do. It's
This is
basically
harsh. I like it.
it's bad. That's
I grew up in Detroit. That has trumped my musicianship.
I'm sorry. I don't recognize that word. What is that word?
What, Detroit or musicianship?
oh, he's saying the Trump word. Come on now. We're not supposed to get
what?
political.
No, I'm using the not the person word.
You speaking euchre? You speaking euchre?
Number 12 is you do not have a weekend anymore.
No,
Everybody-
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That one's actually true.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Especially for Fish and I. when
And the
people,
pre-weekend, you don't have a pre-weekend anymore.
people say, "Hey, hooray! It starts the weekend." It's like, yeah, we just started.
Doesn't it
working.
just make you mad? Yeah.
We just
you're
clocked in.
oh, great. Yeah.
My second job.
Mhm.
I think that's let's see. Yeah,
That's enough.
that's enough of that thing.
We're done. No.
So article number 2, not music related. All powered robots. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's not all. It's AI. AI powered robots take over South Korea's no brand burger restaurant by collecting orders, cooking, and serving customers to limit human contact amid this coronavirus outbreak pandemic. Zach Green.
While the song "Everybody Wants Some" was playing in the background.
Yeah.
I want some too.
Often people talk about the end of the world and they have this Illuminati, blah, 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 blah. But now they've got robots that take your order, prepare your food, and bring it to you. What say you, Fish Fisher? You travel the country, mostly in the grassroots. Do you think that people in Gatlinburg want a robot serving their shit? They want Johnny Five or whatever his name is?
I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head
Five.
around it. Here's what I heard. I must have frazzled out. That whole sentence I got out of it. All flavored robots are cooking customers in South China.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Actually,
Yeah.
pineapple. It tastes
All
like a
got it.
flavored robots are cooking customers in South China.
Basically, robots take over South Korea's a restaurant by collecting the orders, cooking, and serving the customers to limit human
Cooking
contact.
the customers.
cooking and serving the customers.
Yeah, cooking, serving customers.
So do you think that's going to catch on here? Is that what
Taco
we're
Bell already started it.
They
Taco
did?
Bell robots?
Oh yeah, Taco Bell has a marquee in their thing. You go and you actually press your order.
Stop.
Well, yeah. Okay, no, I'm talking about like an actual Taco Bell bot that spreads the cheese and cooks meat for me.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
I'm
want-
thinking.
I'm not
Taco
talking
Bell.
like a 19-year-old girl that really doesn't care if she's there or
No,
not.
no.
Promised her dad she'd go to work today.
I'd rather have that chick with the long fingernails scooping the beef up out of the fucking.
Dude, she's a robot. That's what we don't know. She's a robot already.
Fuck
That's
a
how good-
robot of the system.
Hey, now if you were speaking on Taco Bell, and let's say that you ordered from the robot some cinnamon twist, how do you think they would come out?
Do they still make those?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
And perfect, by the way.
Do they come out from the bottom?
They're perfect. Like on printer 3D printers.
Two robots and a cinnamon twist.
I think that I would rather have robots do it. The problem would come with the people that had to clean the robots because eventually Moore's law really fucks you over.
I
where
got
you
that
might
covered,
you might
dude.
get to the
That's
point
how
where
that's how I'm retiring.
but you
It's
were gonna
coming
do it
off
for
the
sex
fucking
toys.
sex thing, man. It's coming off the sex thing. I'll be able to clean any type of robot after that.
but with a robot.
No,
No, really. Like, do you just drench it in 91% isopropyl
doesn't
rubbing
matter. I mean,
alcohol?
Hey, Green,
if you can clean off the fucking cum, you can clean off any other fucking type of fucking material.
As long as it's organic.
all right. So
Otherwise,
if
you're
if it isn't, it's either lacquer thinner or acetone.
all right. Wow.
You hear
too
that,
much
housewives?
thought.
Or lighter fluid.
Butane. Okay.
Naphtha.
So, Fisher, did you by any chance catch the Tiger King? Did you watch the show? Did you enjoy it at all?
What about the Fisher King?
I actually seen that one.
I like that one.
Do you know I did not watch the Tiger King?
Okay.
I started it.
I feel like I did just from the memes and hearing everybody else watch it and stuff. I think I'm just so defiant that when everything went crazy and everybody started watching Tiger King, I defiantly was like, I'm not watching that just to be different. Sure. I'm one of those guys, you know what I mean? And
my wife and I started it.
I'll check it out.
My wife and I started it, but we just never felt the pull to finish it.
That's a joke in its own.
I know it is. It is.
That was the.
Oh yeah.
That's a sad
I co-wrote that one with my wife.
The sad tug.
The sad tug.
That's my new album.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Was it good? Did y'all like it? Was it?
I did.
I liked it because I wanted to go counterculture. Typically, I would have told the Tiger King, "Yeah, man, I don't want to deal with that." But I figure if I'm stuck at home, I'm gonna just try. Like all the stickers that I ever saved, all the cool stuff that I ever saved was like, I'll use that someday. I'm gonna use that someday. I did it. Like I had this whole extra body for my vacuum cleaner. And I swapped that son of a bitch out because damn it, what a time to do it during the pandemic. Let's install the
genius. The opera man when you're doing that.
Bye bye. Oh, the hair is on.
So the reason why I'm bringing that up is the next article, which I don't need to dive into, is they are obviously predicting the sexy Tiger King Halloween costumes are just right around the corner, folks. This is the combining animal print and fuchsia and everything else
that'll be cute. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lazy Sundays, laying on the couch for Andy over here, this Tarzan print.
I like to be comfortable. What can I say?
Those underwears are 5 sizes too big, Andy. Stop it.
You just don't like it when I hold them out in front of me, run through the room and scream, "Set sail!"
Hoist up the John B. sails.
No, that's when I have an erection.
Oh,
see how the main sail set.
So,
the main sail set. Fuck yeah.
All right. So, last article of the night, and this is so 2020. Here we go, folks.
Oh, no.
St. Louis Zoo says python laid 7 eggs without male help. This is straight from AP. Now, if this isn't the most 2020 thing I've heard in a long time, they're basically saying, and I'm curious to find out if this python's name is Mary, but it basically laid 7 eggs without penetration, I believe is what it's suggesting here.
Jesus snake.
Yeah. Usually he's a Jesus lizard. Wasn't that a...
Yeah, right? The
reptilian...
Jesus lizard.
Yeah.
This will be the reptilian Jesus. Holy shit.
Oh,
so shit. I shouldn't have even said that for Zach. He's having nightmares now.
They got their own Bible.
I gotta rewrite the Bible.
Yeah.
This one comes from Galatians.
No, actually, Zechariah Stitchin already did.
So Thomas Jefferson kind of did a idiot's version.
It's what? It's all fucking bullshit. Fuck all.
So John B. Thomas Jefferson sales.
Yeah, fuck it.
They're trying. So the experts at the St. Louis Zoo are trying to figure out how a 62-year-old ball python laid 7 eggs despite not being near a male python for at least 2 decades.
Oh my!
I mean, have you actually questioned your staff? I mean, what?
Obvious. The
There's one
obvious
guy
question
looking
out
next to
there.
him.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, you just figured it out.
You just fucking
solved
figured it out.
You
The
fucking
janitor
solved it.
banged a snake. Here we are.
Now there's a new COVID that's going to be happening.
Oh,
And now we're going to have to cover up our genitalia. Double cover it up. So outside of our pants and shit, we're going to have to wear something extra.
A fucking like a cod piece.
Something, yeah, exactly. On the outside.
Let's get on this immediately before the
could.
snake virus hits us. We need to make cod pieces.
Yes.
So Fish,
Protect
We've
your
solved
dick.
a lot. Yeah.
have you ever had an animal get pregnant without, I don't know.
Have I ever?
Does this stuff happen in the South, or is this like?
Well, in the
the folk-
South, just nobody admits who got them pregnant anyway. So that's just our way. Yeah. They ask us to do that. They're just like, no, that wasn't.
Who's the
me."
father? Guess.
We're like, what's a father?
I do have a daddy. I have multiple daddies, but I have no father.
All right, fine. Fish, before we adjourn here, why don't you give the folks a method of finding you? I should put it up on the screen. I apologize. I do have your website there.
Jesus.
Hold on. It's just fishfisher.com. That wasn't it.
Fishfisher.net.
Or .net.
I wasn't trying to be clever when I did that, but I think some fisherman took the .com. I'm not joking. I think it's fishing lessons or something. Yeah.
At least it wasn't that dude down in Florida that owns Master Bait and Tackle.
That's actually a genius name.
It's really his thing. Yeah. His last name is Master, and this woman tried to sue him.
No kidding.
Yeah.
We've talked to this before.
He was only based off of 8 Mile.
We have the on the way to Put in Bay, we have the Happy Hooker. That's
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's been around for a long time. Yeah.
Original Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Other than that, Fish, you got the floor. What's going on in your world, and anywhere else people can find you?
Basically, if you Google Fish Fisher, you'll usually get me. Nobody else wants that name really, and so check me out on YouTube and FaceTube and InstaTube and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'm easy to find. That's one of the reasons I keep my stupid name is it comes up in the search engine.
Now you got all those Google metrics. You can't go anywhere else.
Genius marketing plan right there.
Is Dean Masalski just said a genital cuff? You can't do it, genital cuff. I'm sorry, that's the name you picked.
Anything on the horizon that you have coming? I know it's COVID time, but anything coming up?
Not as many shows or anything, right. But I actually been working on a lot of recording and been doing some producing stuff, just a lot of it with my other co-writers and artists and things like that. So there'll be a lot of cool stuff coming out next year. You know how it works. Whatever you're recording now actually gets released 6 months from now and stuff like that. But I would encourage people, I mean, really, if you want to know my music, I would encourage people to check out some of the younger artists that I write with. Definitely check out Alexis Wilkins right now, and Emmy Sunshine, and Sam Hatmaker.
My buddy Ryan Roth. I mean, I miss that dude. I haven't seen him forever.
Andrew Ellis, I write with him up here. But yeah, and that's usually I try to lead down the rabbit hole from any place that you would, joking aside, any place somebody would find me, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or whatever, Amazon. I usually try to lead a pathway to finding all these other artists that are doing great things, and I'm just rooting for them right now, and then there'll be a lot of new music coming from me solo and from some of the artists I write with next year.
That's awesome.
I should mention too, actually, because I got to start advertising it this week. It's almost October, ain't it? I'm still, for anybody that follows annual, I have a nice songwriter weekend. It happens every December down in Gatlinburg. A lot of people fly out from across the country. A lot of Toledoans have come down to it before and stuff. And that is still happening. I've had that question more than ever in the past 30 days of people just wondering if that's going to go on. It's during the second weekend of December, and it's at the Gatlinburg Inn, the historic Gatlinburg Inn. And so anybody wants to come down, that's actually a free songwriter retreat weekend, and we co-write a lot of songs, and everybody gets to know each other over the weekend, and then I see a lot of people keep co-writing together after the fact and stuff. So I'll be posting a lot more information about that, because it just hit me. It's that time of year to start pushing that information.
And if you get any type of flyers or some kind of thing, we would love we can just pass it on through our Facebook page and everything else. I appreciate it very much. We love the networking. India, sorry, it's maybe a little far for you, but
I say try.
I say let's go fund me and have our fan base in India slide on over. Other than that, folks, that is the podcast. We've been talking about having Fish on for a long time. I'm glad it finally worked out. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody have a nice week. We will see you next.
Thanks, Fish. It's been awesome.
This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all having me on.
We'll see you next week. Whoa, whoa.